Namaste. So I'll be talking about the mechanics of the mind and how it functions in our daily lives, whether we know it or whether we don't. It's about time to know what the mind can actually do to us, whether we consciously think about which part of the mind is working or which isn't. So the mind is actually a really powerful tool and a gift that we all have as humans. It's a really amazing part of ourselves that we should dive into. And that's why I'm here to talk about it. And the mind is our inner instrument. And in Sanskrit, that's called Antahkarana. So Antahkarana has 4 functions of the mind. The first one is manas. The manas connects to our 5 senses: eyes, ears, mouth, and nose. The manas is our reactionary mind. If someone throws a ball at us, we either catch it or dodge it. It's the part of ourselves that lets us decide spontaneously. And this could be an issue if we let it control us too much, because it will give us an impulsive way of thinking and deciding. Who is really deciding for us? Is it the reactionary mind, or is it from the source? The next one is Chitta. Chitta is the storehouse of all our memories from the time that we were born until this day. So even if you don't remember the first day that you fell on the bed, or the first time that you crawled, your first cry, your first laugh, the first friend you met, your first word, the mind remembers all of it, your body remembers all of it. Whether you consciously remember or you don't, it's there. And it actually also stores memories from our previous incarnations. And that just means that we could start to remember that we're actually afraid of heights, or we're so passionate about taking care of animals, or we love cooking so much and we just can't explain why. And this is the deep part of ourselves that we can access if we want to, because it lets us have a stronger capacity for remembering who we are as well. So we come in this life forgetting about who we are, but we are also destined to remember what we are here for. And we have the mind to help us get there once again. And to remember who we are, that is having access to samadhi, the greatest and most authentic, pure state that we can be in, to be connected to our source, to the divine. And we do want to remember that all the things that we have around us are also keeping us from remembering. How spoiled are we with our phones? How many phone numbers do you remember? Back in the day, they all had address books, and they would just write their phone numbers, address, names, or they would just remember it. But we already have Facebook to remember our friends. We have everything in front of us too, that we don't need to use our memory brain side anymore. But we can still. And if we are able to have this with us, to gain our memory function back, and we are able to memorize long mantras or phrases that can be essential into evolving, letting you evolve as a human. The next one is Ahamkara. Your Ahamkara mind is the eye maker of letting you have your own identity in this lifetime. So I love to cook, I love to write, I am this, I used to be this, now I'm this, I am a writer, I am a doctor. It's great that we all have our own identities that lets us stand for who we are as individuals in this world. We need it as well to let people identify you for who you are because that's what you want to be known for. But it's not something that we also want to dwell in for too long. We don't want the I-ness taking over ourselves, because having too much identity over us as who we are in this world right now is something that we can do much greater if we would rather have the sense of oneness with the divine source, the divine creator that we all have here. And if we all connect to that, then the I-ness wouldn't even matter. Because we are all connected to one source, aren't we? One being. And we don't actually think that this is all we are. Is this really who you are in this body right now? There's much more greater parts of you that you may or may have not accessed yet, but you can here in this part. So the last one is your Buddhi mind. Buddhi mind is actually where you want to stay in the longest time, or consciously, because it is the great decider. It is the chariot steering the decisions of your life. We can discern from the real from the unreal. We can discriminate. We can decide with clarity. We can also make decisions from resourcing from the other three. Grab information from these parts and then say, okay, this is what I'm deciding. So it can receive information from these three, or it can receive information direct from the source. Your source is actually your true self. The goal here is to open up the portal between the Buddhi mind and the source. I put little holes in there because it's not that easy. There are a lot of obstacles to get through that. You need to still your mind first if you are ready for it. So why do you want to get to the source? Source is where Purusha is actually. In Purusha, we are able to access the source of our being, the divine creator of who we are now. And when we do, in Purusha, there are no limits, there are no I-ness, there is no reaction. It's just a space of clarity, purity, full of love, joy, and abundance. And it's a space that lets you become free from suffering in this world. And we can access this part and bring it down here with us and make decisions from there. Why do we want to make decisions from there? if we don't want to suffer, if we don't want to constantly be in a reactive state, then we can consider this highest part of ourselves of clear seeing, without judgment, without worry, without doubt, and most especially without fear. So there are actually 3 ways that the Buddhi mind can function. The third way is actually through the source. When you connect yourselves to the source, then this is the highest level or experience of clear seeing that a human being can have in this world. And if you make decisions coming from the source, then you wouldn't be compromised, because you would be living in your dharma, or your greatest purpose in life. When you are living in your dharma, there is nothing that can stop you, whether you are here to make a change in the world or not. You are just here because you know that it's right. You know that it's true for you, no matter what. And it doesn't matter what other people say, because that would be in your reactionary mind. Why would you gonna be stuck there, right? Why would you want to think about what other people think about you? Why would you be worried? Our divine creator doesn't worry about what other people think. They just are. They just be. So they don't do anything of service for others. They do it for themselves, for them to evolve, so that humanity can evolve. That's the third way. The first and second way. The first way is the lowest expression, where you get instant gratification. I want to do this, so I'm going to do it. Like YOLO. There's no willpower. You just don't think of the consequences. You just do it. And the second part is delayed gratification. Like, if I buy a house, I'll be happy. But if I don't buy a house, then I won't be happy. I need to have a profession and become licensed so my parents can be happy. So that's conditioning. You're conditioning yourself from your own appropriateness. So you have instant and delayed gratification. The first and second are actually self-serving, and it's okay. But if you do it for too far, it's not something that is directing yourself in the right dharmic path. So our highest obligation is to take directives from the self, your Purusha. That's why we're practicing, to become the Jiva Mukta. That's our free soul singing to us, waiting for us to be aware of it, to be ready for it. My question for you guys is, are you? So share your thoughts, reactions, feelings about this, and we'll chat soon. Thank you.